And we're live. Hi there, and welcome to another episode of At the Gigs. I'm one of your hosts, Jared.
I'm the other one, your host, Kieran, and this is At the Gigs at Home, episode 2. I guess it's a sub-series, right?
Yeah, sub-series, yeah.
Why the heck not? Yeah.
Yeah, I was originally not into, those kind of I suppose pinning an episode to a certain moment, like that, the way when this is all over or even while it's happening, it'll be the quarantine tapes or the
of
quarantine sessions, and every fucking, record store day will have that. It's like, oh,
yeah, no,
tacky.
that's what I find most annoying about this quarantine is that everybody has it in common, so everybody makes the same jokes and observations.
Yeah, I don't want to ever reference it when it's over.
That's it, yeah. You'd think the whole world wouldn't want to, right? Like, it's such a fucking such a gray period in our lives, like a miserable hour, I don't know, it's raining.
I'm cringing at the venues. They're like, it's been a tough, period, but we're glad everyone's back for the Rubies, and it's like, yeah.
At least we won't have to hear that until like 2021 at this rate. So maybe by then we'll be more open to the Ruby Sessions bullshit of like, fine, whatever the fuck they say. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess have you been keeping in quarantine, Jared? Listening to much?
Yeah, pretty good. This week has been. I've had a nice week of finding a song and listening to it nonstop. So I discovered Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Very cool.
Their debut album was in '69, so it's been 51 years.
So I was saying off air, I get them confused with Buffalo Springfield. Are they pre or post Buffalo Springfield then?
They are post. They're
okay.
I don't know chronologically they're probably not the first supergroup, but one of the earliest. So you have David Crosby. He's the beardy guy with the frizzy hair.
Mm-hmm.
He was from the Byrds, and Stephen Stills was from Buffalo Springfield, and then Graham Nash is the only English member. He was from the Hollies, which one of these names I hear a lot but don't really know any of the songs. But
same. Yeah.
But back in that day, you could actually sell a lot of records and not be the Beatles. So
yeah. No, that's very cool.
And then so that's them. And then there's also Neil Young, who I didn't even know this, but he was in, and I know everything. He was in Buffalo Springfield, as well. And then they did Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Young, but they're kind of two separate bands. So I think one can exist without Neil, and one is with Neil.
But, with like diverse, different catalogs, kind of, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like if he had a hit, they would sing it. Well, I don't know. Actually, it's an interesting.
It'd be funny if, like, forever, like through Neil Young solo stuff, they could just freely take his songs and play them at their shows. It's just public domain. They could just take it.
It's interesting because their big selling point was the vocal harmonies. So if you watch interviews with the band, it's really how the three voices blend. That's their kind of their selling point. But so then when you listen to the songs, it's actually hard to know who's written the song and who's the lead vocalist just by hearing it. But if you look it up, it's quite cool because they don't share the songwriting credits, but they seem to all be capable enough to write like a third of the album. So I've always liked that with I like bands like the Eagles or the Beatles where there's not one dedicated vocalist. I just like that,
like everybody kind of hold their own in more than one aspect of just playing one instrument or whatever.
Yeah, I just like the variety. Yeah, you can sort of, if you have a favorite, they're gonna get their chance within the group, compared to Nate Mendel.
Yeah, Nate Mendel, goddamn. Yeah, do you think he's ever nervously approached Dave Grohl with like a song in his hand, like shaking, like, can we play this one, Dave?
Yeah, I don't like. Do you think any of them give Dave riffs? Like, I don't know. It doesn't.
Maybe they stumble upon some, but I can't. I have no idea what their music making process is, but it does kind of feel like as soon as.
But I'm going to comment anyway.
But it really does feel like, Dave Grohl being second fiddle in Nirvana, it fully, he was like, he didn't want to do that again, and it's just a Dave Grohl rock band.
Yeah,
And
he's the Springsteen, like he's the
yeah,
boss.
pretty much. And the rest are the E Street Band. You know? But yeah, no, like maybe it'd be interesting to see if he ever let them off their leash a little bit, see what they can bring to the table. But who knows?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, he likes what he likes. I think Taylor Hawkins says that he has a way he wants the drums to sound.
Yeah.
I think she had a good Taylor Hawkins masterclass on BBC Radio. One of the rivals. I think like last year. But on Taylor's first album, Nothing Left to Lose, he did like half the record, and then from All My Life, he does all the drums. But that's actually another one that's probably my favorite band album by the Foo Fighters. It's actually my favorite of the Foo Fighters stuff. Yeah, I just really like. That's a great one for me. But I suppose that's another side of it where they share drumming duties. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Crosby, Stills and Nash, where it's like, I wonder who's playing. Yeah, I mean, I would have no idea how to tell, but
yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, I guess drumming, like stylistically, I guess you maybe have a more tuned ear than I would. Is there much difference in a drummer's ability versus another drummer? Like you'd have to be very tuned into it, right?
Yeah, there's feel. Yeah, I suppose separate bands, it's kind of obvious, but then the same drummer playing the same thing, like the same song, it's a tough one. I noticed it on Fred Armisen had like that great stand-up that was amazing. Like if someone told me that was going to be released, I'd be waiting years. Like, come on! But it was just randomly on Netflix.
Yeah.
When I found it. But there's a bit where there's like three drummers. I think one from Warpaint, one from Green Day, and some other guy, Thomas Lang. He's some session guy. But they're all just doing like 4/4. But you could like there's a slight. You could different feel for each of them. They're all playing in time, but yeah, it just had a nice sort of. That's how that she has her own swing. I think that's the thing with the legendary people like John Bonham. They just have a presence.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Maybe it's a cult of personality on some level, but there's just a uniqueness to every player.
Yeah, no, totally. And I guess then there's a creative aspect as well. Obviously, they're going to have different sounds within their own bands. So
yeah, the only thing is now you'd say all these things, and then that's definitely a Dave Grohl drum fill, and then it's Taylor Hawkins. So
yeah. I mean, he's probably just trying to emulate Grohl's distinctive style, though. That's it.
Yeah.
Grohl wants nothing less than a mirror image of himself projected on all the bandmates. Yeah. Just a lot of. That would be a fun Foo Fighters video with Grohl's head CGI'd onto everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
Doing all the parts.
I remember that Outcast song, Hey Ya. Remember that was huge.
Oh shit!
They were all. It was like two members, but they're playing a ton of people. That was cool.
Yeah. No, that's always fun. It's always fun when people get a bit crazy in music videos. Speaking of actually, sorry.
Yeah?
No, go on.
No, just I remember that period is so nostalgic. That was when they had the long iPod Shuffle with no screen.
Oh yeah.
And then I think Aldi released a budget one, and we were in school on a tour bus, and I think some people had like the fake one, and it was such a funny time.
Funny times are just God, it's crazy, isn't it? How like the exponential like evolvement of like those iPods look like shit like now.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably a chic revival with them. Having the. I bet you the original iPod with the spinny thing was. You'd almost probably pay more now to find one.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, it's not the same thing. Like, I feel like it won't get the hipster revival that, I don't know, maybe like a tape cassette player is liable to get these days, Yeah,
I suppose just once it kind of goes digital, there's nothing really to.
That's it.
Go from.
Speaking of funny videos, though, do you remember the video for Stacy's Mom by Fountains?
Oh yeah,
that was a heck of a video.
Love that video. Really funny.
It's weird because at the time though, like and forever I've always been like I thought that song was like a little kind of novelty song by a novelty band. But I was listening to the Brett Easton Ellis podcast and he was talking about the singer main songwriter and I think backing singer Adam Schlesinger, and he died of COVID. But terribly sad. But apparently the band are critical darlings, and that was always strange to me. Like I didn't.
Yeah, that's a shock. That there's that entire era. Jimmy Eats World, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're not the same period, but there's a lot of those bands outside of Offspring and Blink-182 that I just have no idea about. I'm so
Yeah.
ignorant.
No, it's weird because, well, even so, like I think they're generally just gonna look up a Hackensack. I think it's called Hackensack Hamptons. A Hackensack rather. Yeah. I was just listening to that song there. They had Sharon Van Etten play in his place recently. Fennins Awended, and it's a great song. It's called Hackensack. Everybody should look it up. But yeah, it's weird just seeing that this band that I had such a completely different perception of are actually really good. You know, Pitchfork Darlings, and it's also like, I don't know. I only revisited Stacey's Mom there just in preparation for this, and yeah, it's got like the Cars influence all over it, which I read about, but then I noticed it, and it's weird. It's a much more, kind of ambitiously kind of produced pop song than I thought it was.
No, it's a good one. It's compared to maybe like Sum 41, it has more of a vibe, definitely.
No, totally, yeah, and a heck of a video as well. Has to be really, really
great cinematography. God,
yeah, that was funny.
That was a great video. Is that Rachel Hunter?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, she left Rod Stewart.
What?
She dumped Rod Stewart. They were married.
Really? She dumped Stewart. I thought Stewart was a dumper. I mean, it makes sense if you look at both of them. But yeah, no, I thought Stewart was the main dumping guy.
Yeah, well, he shacked up with her when she was like 20.
Jesus.
In like 1990, she was like a 20-year-old supermodel.
He was already like 70.
He was like 40.
He's 40. Yeah, it's weird thinking of young Rod Stewart.
But then he just remarries again. So
yeah, that's true. Gets the last laugh.
Rod wins.
Rachel Hunter, she an Aussie?
Either Aussie or New Zealand. I'm not sure which one.
It was from one of those places anyway. But yeah.
Cool.
A great performance and a great video.
Great video, yeah. Thank God for that.
So after that interlude about Stacey's mom, what we got up next, Eric?
Sorry?
What we got up next?
Oh, next. Well, I suppose we've got a slice of news here for all the news lovers. So during the times that we're in, there's a UK initiative, the Music Venue Trust, and they have a website, saveourvenues.co.uk. So basically, it's a charity, and they're what's that? Your plan of action, PO?
No. Agenda?
Yeah, their agenda, their ulterior motives. No, their agenda is to protect, secure, and improve grassroots music venues. And they're saying that during this COVID epidemic, that there's 556 venues at risk in the UK. So they're looking to raise £100,000 to help out with the venues.
That's interesting because 100 grand across 556 venues probably not going to make that much of a difference, right?
No, yeah, it's very small.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't even know what it's.
Is it to just keep staff paid in the interim, or is it to rent? I don't know what the exact agenda is for it, but
yeah, you'll have to. But yeah, it's not like a ton. I mean, even some big companies that say we're going to give $1 million, it's like that's not really anything.
yeah. It's like I saw a funny meme actually the other day. It was like wealthiest country in the world pledges 22 million to help with coronavirus. And then underneath it, they had the Stuart Little budget, $107 million. It's like really? Making this movie was 5 times more important.
How about just making a movie for people, like making a really funny comedy that costs 100 million?
yeah, that's it.
It's almost more charitable than the money.
That's it, yeah, make people laugh. But I don't know. It's weird. I guess I wonder what there's kind of plan of action is here, to keep venues above water.
Yeah, like I did a bit of research. It doesn't seem that any of the venues are, this is where Bob Dylan, blah blah blah. They don't seem to have that kind of legacy to them.
Yeah.
So I just googled a few of them. There's one, Sneaky Pete's that's in Edinburgh.
Okay.
But that won the Music Week's grassroots. God, it's memorable. The Music Week's grassroots music venue of the year, 2019.
Jesus.
So it must be okay. But yeah, of the three I researched, Sneaky Pete's opened in 2008. The Widgeon, which is in Bristol, opened just 2017. And then there's another one, the Lighthouse, that's in Kent, that opened 2013. So they all seem to be quite young venues.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Lighthouse in Dunleary, or the Lighthouse.
No.
God, yeah, is that like a regular venue, the Lighthouse in Dunleary?
I actually thought you just meant the Lighthouse. That's how little I think of that place.
Oh yeah. I remember we went to see a gig. We were invited to a gig there.
Was that Echo Fold?
It was one of them. I think it might have been Echo Fold.
Yeah, well, they didn't know who we were either. So.
Yeah, so we don't remember them. They certainly didn't remember us. But
aggressively so, some would say.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps. Some would say that. But yeah. So there's I guess that's interesting that a lot, like, they're not necessarily these historic venues. The Beatles played for the first time. They're venues that were opened in the last 10 years.
Yeah, so it seems like you're getting the kind of the up and coming small business owner side of it, which is, I suppose, even more makes it more important. I suppose that kind of these they don't have the legacy behind them.
Yeah. Here's one. Which venues here? Like, what's the venue you like miss the most these days?
Yeah, probably the Grand Social.
Yeah, Grand Social is good. That's a good one. I think
like
Sugar
the,
Club for me.
Yeah, the Sugar Club's been a great one. It's hard. I like, of course, I miss these things, but I don't know. I'm so used to not doing them now that I don't know. Like, it's not like I have a craving, but
totally.
It's hard. It's like you want them, but you're okay. But
yeah, like, I find the kind of culture that you kind of see online occasionally about people that they're like, can't wait to get pints again and shit like that. Like, I need pints. I was like, fuck off. Like, grow up. Have a drink at home like everybody else.
Yeah. Drink online.
Yeah.
I think when I'm there, I'll be like, Jesus, I miss this. But
yeah.
There's but yeah, it's probably the Grand Social. I don't know. I've always liked the vibe in there, and I think being on the north side, it's a nice change from how everything's located on the other side of the Liffey.
No, totally. Right in the good. On the north side too. So if you want to go to the south side, just a short bridge away.
Jewel of the North, I'd say.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What's the Jewel of the South?
Sugar Club, obviously.
Yeah, Sugar Club, I guess. Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know, because the Sugar Club was Corey Wong, and then they might have the best program because they had Juliana as well. So whoever's booking in there knows what they're doing.
Oh shit, yeah, those choice cuts, they go down well. I'd see Wong in a second if he came back.
Love to.
Right? In February, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Did it get cancelled or no? Were things happening in February? What was the world? I forget.
That wasn't like a year ago, February. No.
I think we might have seen him a year ago in February, and then he came back this February. I think something like that.
Yeah, I think it was within a year, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great place. Wheeling is kind of weird.
I'm a little off it.
Yeah, I don't remember like the seminal night where you saw someone and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like, it's one of those places where it's like, it's like, it's always going to be like a cool, decent vibe and stuff, but they don't have the best artists. Like,
no,
don't have the best gigs on.
I think I really like the Button Factory's been great as well. That's been good for
Button Factory's cool.
Like heavy gigs, not even musically, just like you kind of packed and there's like energy kind of,
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, it's a cool venue because it literally is. That's one thing I miss. Like I miss kind of like just I miss that kind of packed kind of feeling being at a gig, like a sweaty rock gig or something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be overwhelming. Like you just haven't actually been around a lot of people for so long. Like really don't know what it's
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Yeah, they say like social anxiety levels are gonna like spike out of this thing because, I guess people that didn't have social anxiety might develop it, or people that already have it will be exacerbated by, not seeing people or whatever. I just want to go to a gig.
Yeah, yeah. People are no people.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah. Anyway, anything else on the agenda?
Well, that's kind of the news mostly. Well, I don't know, more news. Depends what you mean by news. But in line with all these, special performances and for the virus, the Rolling Stones have gotten in on the streaming. So they're
Oh,
streaming rare performances. It's called Extra Licks. It's every Sunday.
cool.
So that could be cool. I'm hoping that like maybe they release some interesting bootlegs. A few years ago, I think when they were coming, like I think it was like even like 2011 when they'd seemed quite dormant, but then all of a sudden they were doing a tour again.
Yeah.
So they did this interesting series with Google Play about like 5 concerts through the decades that were, I think, bootlegs. But just the way Keith Richards described them sounded very charming, and it seemed like really interesting to explore that more. So if there's stuff from the 70s that you'd never have expected, it'd be cool to kind of get to know their live appeal more.
No, absolutely. Have you kind of bought into any of the bootleg? I know Pearl Jam like sell a lot of them. I think Metallica probably do too. They sell them. Have you bought into the bands, things like that?
No, I haven't really delved in enough. I guess I used to just think the quality wouldn't be good, but
yeah, that was always my concern too, right? Like all the great concerts in my head were like they were filmed and you can like watch them on YouTube or whatever and like find them somewhere. But I guess there's bound to be some exceptional things not caught in camera. Great performance like that.
Yeah, Metallica have been doing it for a while now. Metallica Mondays, where they stream a selected concert, so that's pretty cool. I think this week was from the Black Album era, so that'd be cool. That'd probably be pretty raw with like the VHS and all that stuff. I think most of the gigs have been within the last 10 years, so that's actually one I'd probably like to check out. But I haven't watched the others. The way there's just kind of a sea of, I think every band I like has streamed something, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, no, you kind of get.
Not really watching any of them.
You get caught under the kind of mountain. Speaking of Metallica, though, there's a very good chance, and this is according to Kerrang, that Metallica, there's a very good chance of a new Metallica album the longer quarantine goes on. So I guess it's a fertile period for them, I get, are they holed up together? Probably not, right?
No, because I think they live separately. Like it's no. Like James Hetfield lives in Colorado.
Oh right, yeah.
And I think Lars is in San Francisco. That is their base, but I think he actually lives around there. But the way everyone gets money and makes it as complicated as possible to literally be in a room together.
Yeah. Especially. But is Hetfield back on track, or what's the deal there?
Well, this has been great for him because I don't think he's actually missed a concert. He's just cancelled them before the virus.
Yeah. And he must be doing okay these days, right?
Yeah, he did his first appearance at like his own car exhibit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, something hats, sets, or I don't know. But no, he's been in public since his fall from grace, which I don't know how. Like, was he found in a bathtub with like a keg, surgically attached to his arm, or did he have one glass of wine and?
Or was it a preliminary kind of? I really feel like a beer. Get me into, like he strikes me as that kind of sensible Christian recovery guy.
Yeah, that like just straight about it.
Yeah. You hear about stories. You ever hear about like how Alice Cooper got clean and sober?
No, no.
Like one day he just woke up and he's like, "That's it, I'm done." And he didn't have to go into rehab. Didn't have to do anything.
Wow.
He just found God and just didn't have to do any of that stuff. No, he has that quote. What's the quote? It's there's nothing rebellious about drinking and drugs, but being sober, now that's rebellious.
I'm having the Lord in your heart. That's
Having the Lord in your heart. But some people get lucky though, I guess, like him, and he's just done. And then other people are like Hetfield, and they have to struggle with it. I guess, a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, you wonder, like, is there a period where young people just are finished with that stuff, even if it's not? Do you think it's always like a bad reaction that puts people out of it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess what they always say, it's like rock bottom, right? They got to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Before they wanna, yeah, so I guess
someone like Johnny Depp, it probably wouldn't have hurt. Not that. Well, like, I mean, that's more complicated than her side and all that. But just generally, if he was not drinking at all, that might be good.
Yeah, no, he probably. I'd wager he'd have a happier life if he wasn't drinking so much. Or was it 15 grand on wine? I don't. It's surely not a week, right? It might be a week, but it's a lot anyway. It's just crazy. Another little Metallica tad here. I just saying here because I just read headlines. Metallica's Lars Ulrich says Rage Against the Machine's music grows more and more relevant every day.
Every day.
Annoying thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that period is just so over for me.
Yeah, like some of the songs are still good and everything, but yeah, I'm out of my love affair, I think, with them.
Yeah, like it hit me at the right time, but I can't come back to it really. It's kind of.
I didn't know that Lars though would be such a big fan. I thought that they would have kind of been a little antithetical to.
Yeah, well, that's why I like Metallica's point of view, because it doesn't seem that literal. Like, I guess I haven't delved into like Metallica's lyrics as much as they're not as on the nose anyway, but they're not. They definitely haven't pulled the U2 where you literally know what they mean.
Yeah. Like U2 have abandoned any kind of artistic ambiguity, and it's just. Ugh.
Yeah, wow. the grandstanding. Yeah, that was the same with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. When Bush was president, they did a song which was literally like the president should be impeached, and they said a third of the audience walked out.
Really? I guess I can kind of see that because their vibe kind of flirted with a little bit of kind of country Americana aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're very political.
But just the style of music, I guess, might attract.
Oh, it attract.
Kind of, red state kind of people. That makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder how worth it is. I suppose if you really think the people in charge are like ruining the world, it matters to you to speak up. But in that situation where you just pissed off a third of your fans, are the other 2/3 really, really happy that you said all that stuff, or they just aren't upset that you said it? Is it worth pissing off the third of the fans?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, do you gain like 2/3 back? For the third that you let go because of your. I don't know. It's weird. There was a pretty militant kind of. It's weird that Bush is like the funny old uncle in America now.
Yeah.
I'm so angry just a few years ago, but
yeah,
weird. But the Crosby, Stills, and Nash, I gotta do a deep dive on those guys. You like Neil Young?
Well,
a big Neil Young guy?
No, I haven't gotten into him at all. Haven't tried, but it's like a lot of music just seems to just land on my lap, and I'm just absorbing it. That just hasn't happened, so it's kind of not even in my control. It's in YouTube's control when the videos
the algorithm
manipulate me. But so far no one's really given me an education on him or stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm intrigued to kind of piece together his connection to grunge music. Did he just dress shabbily? I don't understand. Like, what was the?
Yeah, he looks very shabby.
Just a shabby dressed man. So you got a Crosby, Stills and Nash song you'd like to recommend to the people?
Oh yeah, the one I'm really enjoying at the moment is "Don't Have to Cry."
Don't Have to Cry. What year is this song?
This is off their debut album, Crosby, Stills and Nash,
Okay.
1969. It was written by Stephen Stills, and guess what I get from it? It's like it just has a humorous, like it's not funny, but it deals with like a heartache, but not in a grudging way. Yeah, I liked the sentiment in it,
That's nice.
or what I took from it.
You could say it's your song of the week.
You could say that. Ding ding ding.
For me, I'll recommend the Fountains of Wayne song, Hackensack. I know it so
Great.
well. Yeah, Hackensack.
the Sharon Van Etten version.
You know what? Why the heck not? Actually, no. I guess celebrate the life of the departed Adam Schlesinger by listening to the original version.
Okay, that's the least we can do.
That's
with our reach.
He died like a month ago or something. Yeah, it's a good song though.
But the spirit lives on in At the Gigs.
That's true. Yes, carrying the Adam Schlesinger flag since 2017.
Okay, well, that's all from me.
And that's all from me. So,
so stay safe out there, guys.
Yes,
we'll be back next week with
in there.
In there.
Depending on your kilometer allowance, as announced by tonight.
Yeah, who knows what it will be.
That's it. So yes, for all guys.
We wish you well. Take care.
At the Gigs was recorded in front of no studio audience.